Okay, so start of our brand new practice. This is our final practice before your final project. So it's a good way to see if you know what to do. Always come to projects. When we're starting a new project, remember we have to open a brand new one. So all of these will tell you we've used WebLab. So if you forget what we use, it's called WebLab. Go to Full List, WebLab, and open it up. I'm actually going to go ahead and open up a site that I already have partially coded from today so that you can see what we did on another tab. So it opens up a brand new page in WebLab. Hey, I'm going to have that open too. Some reminders, the declaration line is line 1. That's the only capitalized line because it's telling you what type of language we're using, HTML. You have your link on line 4 that's connecting the external style sheet, styles.css, to your HTML so they talk. You have a line that is open between body open and body close. That is where all of our web code will go. And then everybody has a close tag and an open version of the tag. Okay. I'm going to actually open up a project I started. It should look like this. The first thing we did was name our site today. So we came up here to rename. You called it your last name and the animal that you want to do. You can choose any animal from the animal kingdom, animal, mammal, bug, reptile, bird, etc. I chose the octopus. So mine is the octopus. So I have Watts octopus and then your class period and save. Okay. First thing we're going to do on line 7 is type a header tag, the header container. Inside the header container is going to be an H1. For this project, you won't be getting any of your own content. So you're not typing any of the content because I want it to be perfect content, capitalized right, spelled right. So what we're actually going to use is our AI component. We're going to ethically use AI because we're going to give credit to AI. In an English class, you wouldn't use AI the same way because you wouldn't want to copy and paste. Ethically, that would be plagiarism. You could lose your job. You could get kicked out of your college. You definitely don't want to copy and paste in most circumstances from ChatGPT. We're using either ChatGPT or if you can't use that at school, Perplexity is another one that is just like ChatGPT that you can use. And we're going to type prompts into this AI engine so that we can get our writing perfect and the way it needs to look. So the very first prompt, and that's what they're called, is called prompts. That's what you're typing into these boxes is prompts. We're going to type the prompt that says, make a creative heading, creative title for a website about, and then you might pick Eagles. Okay. And so then you would get, in this case, it gives me 1. It asks me, do you want 4 to 5 more? I can do that. And if you give it a thumbs up, you can say that that's a good response. And you can say yes to give me more if you don't like the response. So here's 5 more creative headings. I'm not going to copy the quotation marks, but I'm going to copy what's between them. Flight of freedom, let's pretend I use. And then I'm going to paste that right onto my H1. I'm going to close the header so the container is closed, save and refresh so my items appear. Then I'm going to get an image one of 2 ways. I'm either going to go straight to the internet and save an image of an octopus, or if I want an AI generated image, I was doing that eagle, so I could type in create an image. It's going to ask if I'm human. Image of a bald eagle flying back to a nest of hungry eaglets on a cliff, in a nest on a cliff. Okay. Or you can make a prompt into something like Copilot, which is also on the CREA-TECH website. It will have you sign in. Oh, I'm going to lose my prompt, I bet. Personal. So I'm going to lose my prompt most likely. So I have to type it again. Create. That will give everyone enough time. An image of a bald eagle returning to a nest of eaglets that is sitting on a cliff. Nest of hungry. Okay. So while that's loading, because Copilot ones do take a little minute to load, I'm going to show you what you would do. You're going to upload it here, add image, upload your image. Okay, X out. It's going to bring it over here. It's going to be named something weird. So go ahead and rename it. We're calling this picture main pic, all one word, making sure not to delete the ending of the image type. So it still should say .png or .jpeg. It's going to appear the size that you saved it at. When you click on the image in your gray panel, you can see the HTML code is in the red box. I'm copying and pasting it, and then I'm adding that image description to the alt attribute, because remember, we want to have a description for someone who's blind or someone if your code is broken, that way too. And then close the div. Open the main container, and then you want an H2. The way you're going to get the H2 is also from ChatGPT. We're going to type in the prompt, make a heading for a paragraph about, and then your animal, about bald eagles. Okay. And then it's going to give me one. It might, if I want more, I can ask for more. Going to copy it just how it looks between the quotations. There's my fish to my hungry eaglets. Okay. And it's going to give me those options. I'm going to paste one next to my H2, just like this, and close the H2 on line 14. This is important here to pay attention to this. How am I getting the paragraphs? So I'm going to use this prompt. Write a 5-sentence, that's one factor, 5-sentence paragraph at middle school level, that's a second criteria, about, and then you're going to copy the heading that you chose to use for your H2. This should be the words I chose for my H2. And I'm going to paste them right there. So it should read, write a 5-sentence paragraph at the middle school level about bald eagles, America's majestic raptors. Okay. And then enter. And then it's going to give you the prompt with the 5 sentences. Go ahead and copy that section, copy, and paste it into your code. Okay. And you can see that it did this on my practice right here, deep sea geniuses, and then this is a paragraph about those deep sea geniuses at the middle school level, 5 sentences. For the second H2, you're going to do the same exact process. You're going to come back here to the right heading, so make a heading for a paragraph, and this time you're going to say the diet of blank. So this one is going to be make a paragraph about, copy, and the diet of bald eagles. Okay. Again, that's spelled wrong, but you'd get your 5-sentence paragraph, you'd paste it, and then you would do make me a, then you'd use the second one again, this one, and you'd substitute the new heading right in there. So when we end today, you should have 2 headings and 2 paragraphs. Make sure you read over them to make sure they're actually about your animal. Funny story, I once had a student who was doing her cheerleading team. They were called the Rebels All-Stars. And she was like, write me a paragraph about the Rebel All-Stars for her final project. And she didn't read any of the sentences that AI came out with. She just copy and pasted them. And it was all about Star Wars because it was Rise of the Rebel Empire. And it had nothing to do with cheerleading. And she didn't even know that because she hadn't read. So just make sure that this paragraph is about your animal and this one is about what they eat. And then your last tag today should be the closed P on line 17. And we're still in the pink because we've not closed the main. And then that catches you up to our new spot today.